Every automation stack starts at the same place. The moment a potential client raises their hand and says, yes, I want that free cookie, the lead capture then starts to take place. And there's a series of events that take place from there. The question that most business owners have and that actually never really get answered is what happens next automatically? So when someone opts into your lead magnet, rather, this system should automatically begin delivering the value. They should be taking your lead and moving them towards that next step without you lifting a finger. So let's take a look at the lead flow here. Here is a simple lead capture form and all the steps that happen automatically. Your lead has then said yes. They've exchanged their name and their phone number to be able to get the freebie that you've offered. And then each step that we take them through is going to serve a specific person, from organizing in your CRM, your client relationship management tool, to warming that lead towards the booking or towards a purchase. And this is the backbone of a scalable lead nurturing system. So once they then decide, maybe they've landed on an ad or they've landed on a social media post, or maybe it's an email that they've landed on, they are going to then input their information. We specifically want to at least capture their first name and their email address. And that is through a form. So maybe this form is embedded in your website, or maybe it's just the form itself. So once they submit that form, then they go into your CRM. So with my all-in-one platform, all of your resources are in one place. So you've got your lead form, then you've got your CRM. And so that CRM then captures that contact information. They plug in the customer's name, their phone number, if the phone number has been provided, the email address, and any scoring that we've done. And that we do that through the workflow. And we'll dive into more of what that looks like. But once they have then done that, then the system automatically sends them the welcome email with that goodie, with that cookie that we've offered them, aka the lead magnet. And then perhaps if you are offering a free masterclass or a free mini course or something like that, it also then grants them access. So not only is it granting them access if it's a downloadable, but it's also granting access if there is a course or placeholder for a course inside your system. It grants them that access as well. Maybe it's also a community. So much like you've come through the Signature System Blueprint Challenge, you were also put into the Founders Lab community automatically. And that all happened through automation. I set it up once and I didn't have to lift another finger to do anything. And that's what you want to set up in your business. So all of the automation is automatically followed up through all the way from the welcome email, through the nurture, through the delivery of the item, products, and services, all the way through even getting a referral from your online client or getting a testimonial from that client after they've worked with you. You would continue to nurture them through these particular workflows. So the entire sequence, this sequence of events that you've set up in this particular workflow, works automatically 24/7, ensuring that no lead falls through the crack, regardless of when they opt in. So it doesn't matter what time of day they opt in. You could be asleep and wake up to new leads coming into your system because they have all this stuff happen automatically because you have the system set up in your business. So let's talk about good automation response to behavior. So this is where we get into smart email automation. So it reacts based on the behavior, not just on the time. So most businesses send the same email sequence to every single lead, regardless of how they engage. Smart automation is different here because it changes based on engagement. So we have ways of inside the system of tagging your leads based on what they've shown interest in, what they've clicked on, what they've consumed, and we can tag them based on their behaviors and create some really neat automation sequences to be able to go to them. And this creates a real personalized experience at scale, dramatically improving conversion rates because you are talking to the right people through your automations that you have set up without any additional manual effort. Again, we set everything up once, and then we continue to just nurture those clients over time and make adjustments based on what our analytics are saying. So therefore, not every person gets the same sequence. Your system should be smart enough to treat that engaged prospect differently than a cold one. And this is where we talk about email conditional logic. So, for example, if someone opens an email, then they click the link. So, for instance, you open the email from the signature course launch or the signature system blueprint challenge, you clicked a link to be able to register for that challenge or for you to be able to get into the community. So you click the link. It also then tracks all of that. And then as well, if you have in your sequence that you want to book a call or you have your lead book a call rather, they can automatically book a call. So following the graph here, they open the email, they're continued to be nurtured through this sequence, which increases value and a stronger CTA. So you're providing the value, you're providing a direct call to action that is asking your lead, take the next step. Click here to be able to book a call, and then automatically takes you to your call booking system. So once you've done that, because they have now booked a call with you, they've made that confirmation of intent, they've moved one step closer to you towards your product and services that you're offering, then it can remove them from the initial welcome sequence because it's tracked that behavior and knows that we don't need to keep pitching, book a call to that client because they've already booked a call. So it can trigger a re-engagement of a sequence with a different angle or different offer. So for instance, if your leads are not opening the email, you can resend that email out to people that did not engage with it the very first time. Maybe they just didn't see it. Maybe the subject line wasn't strong enough and didn't stop them to have them open the email. We can also set up events inside the email management system with a different trigger, with a different subject line, et cetera, to retarget that lead to try to encourage them to open that email rather. AI can also really speed up content creation. So one of the most time intensive parts of running a business is content creation. And maybe you're brand new here. I know a lot of you that have come into the signature system blueprint are newer. You have an idea, but you're overwhelmed and not sure what that next step is to people that have already been running a business. And you'll find, depending on where you're at, content creation is where you're going to spend 80% of your time. 80% of your time should be spent on marketing, effective marketing strategies. So tools can dramatically reduce the time it takes to go from an idea to a published post, enabling you to maintain consistency, to have high volume content presence without burning all of your creative energy. So what that looks like is we're talking about the different pieces of marketing materials that go out, and this 80% of time you should be spending on getting visible and attracting, nurturing, all the way to conversion with your clients. The first thing AI can really support you with is social media posts. So it can not only create the caption for the social media post, but it can also help you to create all of the graphics. So all of your creatives that go with that particular post, and also help you to be able to schedule them out to multiple platforms, all using ScaleLogic HQ, all in one exclusive platform. So it's not only helping you to have your email going out, but also helps with your social media. And then email draft. So it will help you, the AI will help you with just a few simple prompts to be able to draft all of your emails, your newsletters, your campaigns in minutes. So gone are the days where you're sitting and staring at a blank screen trying to think of what to say, or spending hours trying to craft the right words in a particular email. Gone are those days. You could just tell the AI what it is that you want to create and what your goal is for that particular email, and it'll write it for you in seconds. The same thing with blogs. Blogs are one of the number one ways to be able to target your client using SEO, marketing. It lives forever. And these blog outlines, the AI tools inside of ScaleLogic HQ can create the outline for your blog post, as well as to be able to write the entire blog post and create the images for you and schedule it for you. It can help you with all your captions, all your ideas, generating your hooks, your content angles, your captions. So this is like having a team member on your team. This is your content creator. This is your content management manager inside your business already built in, is being able to use the AI to do this. An important note on AI and your voice: AI should support your voice, not totally replace it. So it's a powerful creative accelerator, but It works best as a collaborator. So again, thinking of it as like a team member on your team, it is a partner. This is a partnership. You need to guide it. You need to direct it. You need to tell it what you want to say so it can be that ghostwriter. You can use it to draft, outline, and ideate, but then add your own perspective, add your own stories, your own examples, and your own personality, because it follows you, not just a generic algorithm. It follows you. It connects with you as a person. So keep your voice at the center of everything that you publish. So we talked a little bit about booking automation. So scheduling is one of the most commonly overlooked automation opportunities, and it's one of the most impactful. Gone are the days, again, with having this in all-in-one platform with ScaleLogic HQ or whatever platform that you're using, you can automate all of the bookings in your system. So you don't have to play this game of going back and forth. Scheduling is one of the easiest and highest ROI automations that you could build in your business. So gone are the days of manually trying to schedule with a lead. There's no more back and forth emails or text messages, the endless DMs where you're going back and forth with your calendar and your time and just having chaos with your calendar altogether. So this is another thing with ScaleLogic HQ. You can automate in your business, as I've mentioned before, in that email nurture or in your social media content as you're proposing to book a call. All of this can be set up automatically. So there's no calendar chaos. There's no going back and forth. The booking link can automate the qualification. So there, perhaps you have lead questions that you want to ask. When we set that up, we have a couple of pre-selected questions that qualify the person. So you're not getting on calls with unqualified leads and wasting both of your times. It also handles all of the scheduling and handles all of the reminders and the confirmation emails that go out to remind them of your calls in 2 days, your calls in 24 hours, your calls in 2 hours, and so forth. However you determine the amount of touch points, you will dramatically increase your show up rate to these particular calls by having all of this set up in place, not requiring you to do it each and every single time. It's automatically handled, as well as the follow-up is automatically handled once you get the system set up and plugged into your business. So let's talk about smart booking flow. A well-built automation does more than just secure the time slot. It qualifies a prospect, it prepares both parties ahead of the call, and launches a follow-up sequence without any manual input from you. So what happens here is the lead books a call to protect that slot, and they automatically get sent to your calendar and can pick a time that you reserve in advance what your time availability looks like. And then the prospect then picks a time frame that works for them. And then also qualifies them. So the prospect submits this form with some pre-built questions that you've already plugged into this call booking system. So the lead can then fill that information out and further qualify them for the call. And then say they're not qualified for the call, you're going to see that in advance. So if it's somebody that's not qualified based on the responses that they put in that particular form, you can let them know that you're going to cancel the call because they're not an ideal client for you. It's also going to send out the calendar invite and the confirmation. So once the lead then books that particular call, it'll send the invite and the instruction information to be able to get on that call. It will send reminders. So you've got 24-hour reminders, an hour alert, as well as that first follow-up as well at the end where it will post-call the automated. It will have the follow-up in the end once you've gotten off the call to continue to follow up with your lead. The next piece is to talk about client onboarding. And this is where a lot of businesses fall flat. When someone buys and then there's confusion, this poor onboarding experience creates a lot of confusion. And when people are confused and they don't feel like they're getting that red carpet experience, it can lead to increased refunds, buyer's remorse, disengagement. There's studies that show if your clients don't start interacting within the first week, they're more likely to, or if they're in the membership, they're more likely to leave a membership or they're more likely to cancel. So we want to engage them right away. And a strong onboarding sequence helps us to really create this confidence and this momentum. So let's talk about what happens after they buy. And this is where, again, most businesses break. So you definitely want to have a system in place to make sure that they are receiving this incredible experience with you. Once the sale is made, the payment clears, and then silence. This is what we don't want to see. This is where the breakdown happens because this poor onboarding experience again, is one of the reasons that clients disengage. They request refunds or leave negative reviews. So strong automated onboarding process delivers an exceptional first-class experience, a incredible first impression every single time without you having to be present. The quality of your onboarding determines whether a client becomes a raving fan or a regretful buyer. So let's take a look behind the scenes of what happens when somebody is then onboarded into your ecosystem. Once a purchase is made, your system should immediately spring into action for you, delivering everything that the client needs to get started with confidence and clarity. So this flow here that we're going to go through removes all of the confusion, sets the expectation, and starts a client relationship on the right foot on a strong foundation. So once they've made that purchase, they've maybe were on your sales page and they've made that purchase, a confirmation is then received into the system. Once that happens, they receive a email saying, hey, thank you for your purchase. You've purchased whatever the particular signature system is that you have sold to the client. Then a welcome email is automatically triggered. And inside this email that we create, and I give you all of the templates for this in Scale Logic. So all we need to do is just tweak it to your particulars about your signature system. But this onboarding email is sent out and it gives them all of the links, maybe that you have calls or dates to this particular offering that you have in the email, and it lines all of that out and how to get support. And then they automatically get access to the portal where your online course, coaching program, service is then built in the online portal for them to be able to go into. And then if there's any forms that the client needs to fill out, maybe you're delivering a service for them. And so maybe you're doing their social media marketing and you need to gather some information on them so you can get started on a particular project. We create forms in advance that automatically get sent to your client and say, hey, thank you so much for joining. I'm so excited to get started on your social media project. Let me just gather a few details for you in advance so we can get started on this right away. So that form is automatically delivered to them for the client to be able to complete and get started on the project with you right away. So you can't improve what you don't measure, and manually pulling reports from multiple platforms every week is a significant time drain. Automation brings all of your key metrics into one place in real time, so you always know exactly where your business stands. So through this automation with Scale Logic HQ, it automatically tracks all of your leads. It tracks the total opt-ins. It tracks the lead sources. So where are these leads coming from? Are they coming from, maybe you have an ad running, so it's coming in from a Meta ad or Google business ad, or maybe they came in through social media. Maybe they came in through clicking on a link in an email or your website. It tracks all of those sources so you can really know where your ideal clients are hanging out. It tracks all of the conversations. So leads to calls to client, all of that is tracked automatically in the CRM contact record. So you have a full record from start to finish of every step the client has made with you within your ecosystem and all of the conversations. So gone again are the days of you having to manually input everything and update a Google spreadsheet. Maybe you were tracking it on Google Sheets, or maybe you were tracking all of this in Trello or Asana or something like that. This is already baked in. The revenue, it tracks your real-time revenue, tracking across all offers, all payments. Engagement, it tracks everything from all of the engagement on your emails all the way through your products and services. It tracks the email open rates, the click rates, the content performance data, and again, the client progress. So it's going to monitor where your client is in the journey, in that A to B journey, your customer journey, and flag anyone that needs attention. Also, through your courses that you have inside the portal, it tracks the engagement, who's opening, who's clicking, the percentage of completion that the lead has gone through, or actually the client has gone through inside your system. And it could be a lead too, because maybe it was a free course. It tracks all of that for you. So this is the magic of having a connected stack, a connected automation stack that everything connects. This is what separates a collection of tools from a true automation stack. In a connected system, one action triggers multiple automations simultaneously. So the action being, for instance, your lead magnet, the cookie that you gave your client, that trigger that someone opted into your lead form, that's what we would trigger that particular workflow with. And it automatically does all of these things for you behind the scenes. And this is what makes you stand out in the industry. It is make sure allows your clients to have this very high touch experience across every single channel without manually coordination, without having to manually go find what conversations are happening on Facebook, what conversations are happening on Instagram, what conversations are happening on LinkedIn. It's all pulled into this one database, this one CRM. And one event creates this ripple effect throughout your entire business. So it's a beautiful thing, quite magical. So let's take a look at an example of what we were just talking about, how one opt-in can create 6 different automated outcomes for you and your business. That's how you leverage automation. That's how you scale your business using AI, tech, automation, and workflows. And that's how businesses begin operating efficiently without having that constant founder involvement. So what happens is when someone has opted into your ecosystem, this is what it looks like. The lead is then added to your customer relationship management tool and the profile is created. The welcome email automatically goes out, and any access that the lead would need, for instance, being in the Signature System Blueprint Challenge, you not only got the welcome email, but you also got access to the course and the community. So all of that access was automatically given to you and unlocked for you, as far as the portal and things like that was unlocked for you to be able to have access to that particular thing. The lead downloads the guide. So when they're in there, they get that first email. So the sequence is now beginning. We're on step 3. They've now clicked on the link in the email that gives them the cookie. So then based on what the lead has then done, the opening the email, the clicking on the link, any of those types of things, it starts to track that behavior. And remember, I said it tracks every step that you take along the way. And we build in what we call tags into the system. And I give you all of this instruction and templates as well to help you implement all of this a lot quicker inside of ScaleLogic HQ. Or you can use perhaps if you're on MailChimp or you're on ActiveCampaign or Light, something like that, as far as your email tools concerned, you can set this up in there as well. So I'll show you how to do it behind the scenes with ScaleLogic, but it is applicable to any email service provider that you may be using. You can track that behavior based on what the person has clicked on, based on the actions that they've taken. We tag them with particular tags that track that behavior. So that then allows us to have behavior-based follow-up based on what the lead has shown interest in. So say they have shown interest in a particular online course or coaching program or so forth on what they're watching. Maybe you have YouTube videos embedded in your email. It will track the YouTube video, tracks the click, it tracks a portion of time that they actually viewed it tracks the link and it tracks the view time on how much of the video that they have consumed of what you have provided in the email. So looking at it again, they click on the link wherever you have marketed and promoted that particular lead magnet. They are automatically added to the CRM. The profile is created so it captures as much information as you have set up. And even in the Signature System Blueprint, I had a form set up for you to answer a couple of questions that helped me to learn more about you and more about the problem that you have and the goals that you have for your business. So all of that information was automatically captured as well. And then it goes from there into the welcome sequence. So that welcome sequence begins, and then it starts to send emails to you that we've already pre-created, not just the welcome email, but also additional emails in that particular sequence that are going to further nurture them, further build trust, further share case studies and results that you're having with your client, all the way to where we get to the sales sequence. And based again on the behavior in these emails and what they're doing, it shows what they're clicking on, what they're not clicking on. We can then identify, oh, this customer might be interested in social media marketing, for instance, or oh, this customer might be interested in getting help with this particular thing that's relevant to your particular niche. So from there, then we can put the lead into other workflows that further market those particular things that you're offering to them. So any questions you have about any of that we've gone through, go ahead. You're going to be going through this in your homework as you're picking your automation stack here, but you can go ahead and post in the Founders Lab any questions that you have so we can get you some feedback. So next, we're going to be talking about the business working 24/7 on autopilot for you. So once you have all of these systems live, you have the lead magnet created, you have the workflows created, and you have your social media plugged in. All of the social media content has been created. You use the AI agents inside of Scale Logic HQ to help you create all of the social media content, your blog content, if you're blogging. All of that is all set up. Once that automation stack is live, your business doesn't stop when you close your laptop. It just keeps working for you 24/7. Leads are captured, they're welcomed, they're nurtured, calls are booked, clients are onboarded, and revenue is tracked. All of it while you sleep, take the weekend off, or focus on other work that only you can do. Automation is the next best thing to cloning yourself. And it's actually better because it's consistent. Everybody actually gets that same level of quality experience that you want them to because nobody's slipping through the cracks. So let's simplify this. Enough theory. We're going to get into building something real. We're going to walk you through in the next video the construction of a basic but powerful automation sequence together so you can come with me and look over the shoulder, know exactly what button to click, what to do, how to set it up. This kind of workflow, again, can live in your business. You can start simple and you can build from there. You do not need a complex 30-step automation to start seeing results. One simple workflow built for you can transform your lead follow-up and save you hours and hours a week. So we want to keep it simple. One trigger is all we need. And a trigger, it just means what is the event that fires this workflow automation. For example, the signature system blueprint, you completed a form. Even if you came in through one of my ads, you completed a form. And once that form was completed in the particular workflow, I told it, when this form is completed, I want this action to happen. So that's what we're going to be showing you a live demonstration on. So you build it once and you create it today. It can run for years without you doing another thing to it. For years, I've had lead magnets that have been running since 2019. You iterate it over time. So your first version doesn't have to be perfect. You just have to start. And it's a lot easier. And I'm going to make it a lot easier for you because I give you everything, not only over the shoulder, but also if you decide to work with me inside my programs and services, you will get all of these templates landed right in your account. So simple workflow, leads, download the free resource. So this again is your foundational email automation that you always at least want to have one free lead magnet, one way to be able to attract leads all the time, consistently. Every single day you need to be bringing new leads into your business because you don't need a huge audience, but you need consistent new leads to be selling to every day because you will fatigue your audience. Those people have been in your audience now for quite a while. If they were going to buy, they most likely would have already bought. So they become stale. So you want to make sure you always have a way to bring new leads into your business every single day. So this is the workflow you should have. It's simple, it's highly effective, and it can be built in an afternoon. Once it's running, every lead gets this professional, value-driven experience for you automatically. So again, they get the welcome email, they get the value that you've provided with your freebies. So whether it is a checklist, a toolkit, a guide, a video, maybe it is a free masterclass or workshop that you've given them, you provide that value. And through that workflow as well, we provide other emails that go through case studies. So whether it's a case study of you, because I know many of you are new and perhaps haven't worked with clients yet. So it can be your own case study of where you were before developing your signature system and where you are after and what changed. And then having a soft call to action. That's what we call a CTA, a call to action, which invites them to take that next step with you and working with you in your paid containers, aka your signature system. So this 4 email sequence, it builds the trust because you are providing valuable information for them to be able to learn that, hey, this person knows what they're talking about. It establishes the expertise as you're sharing your knowledge and you're sharing your case study. That's how you're building trust, and trust equals clients. And this is going to guide them naturally to the next step, all on autopilot. Once you set it up once, it continues to work for you until you turn it off. So we've talked about this conditional logic, and we'll dive more into that when we do the behind the scenes tutorial. Once we have this basic system running, we can continue to add intelligence. And conditional logic watches how each lead behaves and routes them accordingly. So it's if they do this, then I want this step to happen. If they don't do this, then I want this step to happen. That's what we're telling the automation. We have different paths to go through, and it's going to help guide the lead through the particular path based on this behavior. So this is what turns a basic email tool into a true marketing automation system. So if they engage, they open the email, they click the links, they visit particular key pages, and then they're continued to be nurtured with that sequence and increasing offers and stronger call to actions move towards that booking or that purchase. If they don't engage, there's no opens, there's no clicks after several emails. It can trigger a re-engagement sequence with different subject lines, can retarget the lead with a different, the body of the email is the same, but it's got a different subject line or angle or offer to be able to encourage the lead to be able to engage with your content. And then we can also move them to a lower frequency just to stay in touch. If we're not identifying this lead as a hot lead, maybe we just want to move them to our general email list so we can continue to nurture the lead over time until they are ready to do business with you. So why this matters: without having automation, leads are forgotten, follow-up gets missed, sales opportunities disappear simply because the follow-up isn't consistent. Follow-up, the fortune is in the follow-up, and that is so true. So you want to make sure that you have this automation set up in your business. So business doesn't stop when you close your laptop. The business continues to run on autopilot for you. And this helps you to stay consistent. It helps you the lead to be able to connect with you from anywhere, any time zone in the world because of the automation. So research here shows that it takes 7 to 12 touch points before a purchasing decision is made. And without this automation set up, without having the nurture sequence going forward, without being able to send them more content, such as maybe videos or workshops that you're doing to continue to build trust so they can learn and still feel comfortable with you, that what you're talking about and that you're the right person to work with them, then that's how they then make a purchase decision. And without this automation, most businesses deliver 1 or 2 emails and then they have to move on because you don't have time to keep going back and chasing leads. There's no more chasing. When you have automation, it just does it all for you. So your roadmap here, you want to build one automation at a time. So don't try to automate everything this week, as exciting as it is. And maybe you're a tech nerd with me and you just love automation. I love everything from my Roomba to my email marketing automation going out. Once you have one set up, then we can duplicate our efforts and work even quicker to create the next one. So having one set up is more infinitely valuable than having 10 unfinished ones. So we don't want a bunch of unfinished bridges here. We want to create one bridge at a time. This is the biggest mistake founders have, is when they discover automation is trying to build everything at once. They've got their lead magnet sequence, they got their sales sequence, maybe they're setting up AI agents to answer phone calls or to make outbound calls. Or there's lots of different things that we'll go through as well over time. That the power of the software, my business is built on Go High Level, and it is truly, when I say it's an all-in-one software, it is an all-in-one software. And going with that, it can save you thousands of dollars a year by not having to have multiple platforms that are all bootstrapped together with Zapier, with Zaps, because they don't talk to one another. So you want to make sure you have one bridge and you get it completed and you get it running. So this winning strategy is discipline sequencing. One automation, fully built out, fully tested before moving to the next. Done consistently over 90 days, you'll have a complete tech stack. So again, don't automate everything. You want to have one fully built out system at a time before you continue to move on. So phase one with the foundation, before we can build anything, you need this solid foundation. The phase is where you're focused on establishing the core infrastructure that every other automation load is going to connect to. Get this right, and everything else follows will be faster and easier to maintain. So having one platform, one email platform, again, I recommend Scale Logic HQ, but maybe that looks for you. Maybe you're with Active Campaign or you're with MailerLite or another particular provider. You want to choose one, configure that email marketing platform, set up that authentication. So you have to have your email domain authenticated through the email service provider. Have a sender profile and structure before sending any emails, so that way it's working and it doesn't get flagged as spam or anything like that. And then secondly, we want to have the welcome sequence. I provide this to my clients as well. So all we need to do is tweak it for your business and for your offer. But you want to at least build and activate this for at least 4 emails on to 10, even to 25 emails could be in your particular email sequence. As I just mentioned, it takes at least 7 to 10 touch points of communicating with your lead to help move them to the buyer's decision where they actually say yes and opt in with you. And then having a basic CRM. So a way to follow up with leads. The fortune is in the follow-up. So you need to have some kind of mechanism set up in place where you're tracking. And I've been in the days where I was doing all of this through a Trello board or a Google spreadsheet where I was manually tracking, and it works. You can make it work, but it is very manual. It is very time intensive, and it definitely can be inconsistent because you can start off really strong, but then forget to continue to add your notes to the system and so forth and follow that lead to the sale. Second place is I was just talking about with the lead management. So once you have the CRM set up, whether it's with my platform Scale Logic HQ, or you've gone with another CRM software provider or created your own through a Google spreadsheet or a Trello board, you want to expand your CRM with the full pipeline. So this is where every stepping stone in the customer journey, and we've talked about that earlier in this particular 5-day challenge. Believe it was on day 2 that we were talking about all of the stepping stones in day 3 when we dove into ideal client. But you need to know every stepping stone that they're taking and how you're going to further nurture those leads to take the next step. And then having lead tagging. So creating a tagging system in your email service provider that automatically categorizes the lead and their interest. So their behavior, enabling you to be able to target your client going down the road. And mine, I teach my students to tag all of their leads with the general mailing list tag. So automatically that list is built out for you. So when you do your weekly newsletters, things like that, then you already have that list already created with people that have opted into and said yes to emails from you, as well as to all the products and services based on their behavior that we can tag them based on those behaviors. And then we can follow up with unique workflows, automations to be able to nurture clients in those particular workflows. To the scheduling automation. So again, if you're using Scale Logic HQ, that is already built in for you. If it's not, then you also need to have some way to book appointments, and whether that's Calendly, you can do Calendly. I still believe it's free up to one call type, one event type for free. And then if you add more different events, then they start to charge you. But you want to have a way to be able to set up that booking automation and those qualification forms that I talked about, which are a series of questions that you can ask your lead as they're booking that call to make sure that they are qualified, they're a qualified lead for you, and they actually have a problem that your signature system then solves for them. And this is a great way to make sure you have that in place, because if it's not somebody that's qualified for your services, then you can let them know upfront that we're going to cancel the call and here's why, and maybe give them a referral to someone that they're better suited for to work with to be able to solve the problem they are coming to you with. Phase 3 is the sales automation. So now that those leads are organized in your system, they're scheduled, if they're getting on a strategy call or sales call with you, now it's time to build out that sales infrastructure. So this phase here is where you're going to create those automated touch points, as we've been talking about, that are going to move them from being a lead to being interested to being enrolled with you in your service without requiring you to manually chase every prospect. So you're going to have a sales sequence here. And again, if you are working with me, I give you all of your sales sequence templates. All we do is use the AI agent to be able to modify them and customize them for your products and services. But we build these automations. In fact, the AI agent can build the whole automation for you too from scratch. But the automation and email sequences for each offer, so they're designed to educate your lead to build desire and present your offer in the most compelling way possible. Also, handling objections. So, we want to have these targeted emails that flow and address the most common objections, whether it's price, timing, results like social proof, have also built in frequently asked questions and direct responses. We can handle all of that for you without you having to have a conversation in the DMs or on a phone call. And then the follow-up system. So automating that post follow-up call, the proposal delivery. So that proposal, if you're working with a client and they have requested interest or would like to get a quote from you, we also have the quotes that you can set up in ScaleLogic HQ. Those automatically then get sent out to the client and then the check-in without having a particular sales conversation. So it doesn't end. You just anticipate what that next step is. Anything else that we can automate in your business and then automate that so you don't have to do that manually yourself. Once you set it up once, it's done and works forever. From there, the next step is content automation. So consistent content is one of the most powerful trust-building tools available to coaches and founders, but it's also one of the most time-consuming. Marketing should be taking up about 80% of your time. But I would say with having AI tools in place to help you with this, it's going to drastically reduce the amount of time and effort that you are spending and also help reduce having to pay copywriters, also pay virtual assistants to be doing the scheduling for you or creating the content or creating the graphics, because the AI can do it all for you. So you want to, whether you're with ScaleLogic HQ or you're with another provider, you want to be able to make sure that you have a content scheduler. So using a schedule, tools to batch create, and then pre-schedule the content across all the platforms. So turning one day of work into a month of consistent visibility, rather. Because that's the one thing, that consistency really builds trust and really helps you to be the number one go-to person in the industry for the problem that you solve, because they just see you everywhere. And that being seen everywhere happens with consistency, and it helps you to do that and not be spending all hours of the day and night doing this yourself by setting it up and through having this content scheduled out. Ideally, you can get scheduled at least a minimum of a week in advance, all the way to 30 days in advance, even further, depending on what your product suite looks like and how many products and services you have to offer. If you're changing strategy a lot, you wouldn't want to build out too far, because then that would be a waste. But you can use the AI support to help you implement all of this and execute on all of this to create your workflows, the drafts, the repurposing, the ideation, and not only helping you create it, but helping you schedule it too. It does it all for you. And then the distribution workflows. So building these workflows that automatically repurpose content across all channels. So it's not just having to go to a workflow or a content scheduler that you can only schedule one platform at a time. You can schedule all of your platforms with that one piece of content at one time. It all happens automatically. I can't wait to be able to show you that. Phase 5 is the client delivery. So this is where we start to move through in the signature course launch system. Each of these are the different modules that I walk my students through each and every step along the way. And you get shoulder tutorials where I show you step by step what to click on what buttons. But during this time frame, this is where we work on the onboarding. So this phase transforms your client experience from being reactive to proactive. So instead of manually managing each step of the client's journey, this system guides them from first becoming aware of you all the way to the purchase and beyond, all the way to the reviews, because we have review management as well, which asks the clients to submit reviews for you automatically. You can set that up so you don't have to feel icky even asking for that, because we set it up in automation and it automatically goes out. So it helps with that onboarding experience and giving that client that really red carpet, white glove experience that everybody gets consistently across the board, from the intake forms all the way to the orientation content. Again, it tracks all of the progress that your learners are having. So We build automated milestone check-ins in advance to check in with your students to see how they're doing, how they're progressing in your online course or coaching program. So you always know where each client is on their journey without manually tracking it. And having these check-ins, so those automated touch points for clients, and also asking for feedback from them along the way so you can identify where your learning gaps are in your process, or you've identified additional products and services that you can create based on this feedback that you're getting from these check-ins. And the beautiful thing is you're not having to do all this manually. Once we kind of think it out and build these workflows, it automatically happens over time. And optimization. So weeks 11 and 12 inside the signature course launch system. This is where this phase is about turning your automation stack into that data-driven for continuous improvement. And now that all your systems are live, you're shifting from building to refining, and using this real performance data is going to help you to stack smarter and more effective over time. So the automated reporting that you get, you can set up for weekly reports to automatically drop in your inbox, covering the most important things from the KPIs, the number of leads that have come in, where they're coming in from, the conversions, the revenue, the client engagement. All of that reporting is delivered to your inbox, as well as the analytics. So it helps to dive into the data to identify the highest performing sequences, the ones that aren't performing really well, so we know where to optimize those particular sequences. So we build them once, but we want to continue to optimize. Maybe we need to change up subject lines, things like that, because if the open rates are even low, it's not even that the content itself needs improvement. It's that the subject line may need improved to even get the lead to be able to open the email to begin with. So it tracks all of this for you so you can make data-driven improvements to your automations, optimizing the subject lines. The timing is another thing. The sequences based on behavior, real behavior data, not guesswork, not thinking, oh, maybe they just don't like me or maybe they're not interested in. It's really just making sure that we look at the data and we improve what's working. We see what's working, what's not working, and where we can continue to improve. So the recommended tool, you've heard me mention it multiple times, is my all-in-one software, Scale Logic HQ. So inside the Founders Lab, we recommend this above all others. It's basically my platform that I built out on Go High Level, where multiple millions of people are using Go High Level and building 6, 7, 8-figure business and on beyond using this particular software, because it's an all-in-one business platform that replaces multiple tools, eliminating all the complexity, eliminating the need to try to stitch everything together with APIs and Zapier or Make. And that was another one of trying to make these sequences work together, or these softwares work together. In Scale Logic, you get your funnels. So all of your funnels, all of your opt-in pages, your sales funnels, your website, even your blog, all of that can be built inside of High Level and managed in High Level. So you can have not only access to that, but also see all of your analytics live 24/7 right in the one place. CRM, so you can then not only track every single contact that's coming into your CRM, from your lead capture all the way to conversations that are happening on social media platforms such as Facebook and Instagram. We don't have an API with LinkedIn yet, so we can't track those conversations automatically if you're using LinkedIn, but it does track all of the others coming in from Facebook and Instagram, and all of your email automation. So it's your email automation tool that all of your welcome sequences, your nurture sequences, your sales sequences, your onboarding sequences for abandoned cart sequences if they didn't opt in to purchase your particular product. We can build sequences to follow up with that, as well as the follow up with the clients to see how they're doing, the students that are inside your online courses and coaching programs. We can build those too. To your calendars, it's there too. The courses, the payments, the social scheduling, the onboarding, it's an all-in-one platform, one monthly fee, your entire automation stack connected and running all together like a well-oiled machine. So it's your turn now to open up your automation stack checklist. So if you look in your workbook that I've pinned inside, this is module 4, you will see your workbook there that walks you through picking your automation stack. Theory is only valuable when it leads into action. So right now is the time that you want to go into this resource library over in the Founders Lab and get out this workbook and go through what we've covered in today's session. Every insight, priority, and decision that you make over the next few days you can download the slides too from today's presentation, helps you to make these decisions. So you want to open it up and you want to keep it visible as you're going through so we can make some decisions on what automation stacks you want to have implemented in your business. So here is your task audit to take a look at your business and identify what your biggest time drains are right now. Before you can build the right automations, you really need to have clarity on where your time is actually going. Maybe you're spent all of your time in creating social media content and scheduling content. Maybe it's in up and chasing leads, trying to follow up in the DMs and manually have to input everything into your CRM tool. This audit is really going to be the most important step for you because this is going to allow you to build an effective automation strategy. It ensures that you are solving real problems, not just building systems to have systems that look impressive, but never deliver any return on investment. So open up your checklist and I want you to record down the top 5 most consuming repetitive tasks that you're doing. I want you to be specific, not just admin work, but what does admin work mean? What do you do? How often are you doing it? And how long is it taking for you? So you're going to record what this task is specifically. Maybe it's creating content for social media. How often does it happen? Are you doing this daily? Are you doing it weekly? Is it with every new client? So maybe it's all the onboarding tasks you're having to manually chase. And then how long does it take to write down? Are you spending 5 hours a week, or maybe you're spending 20 hours a week on this particular task? Record this for you. Record it down so you can really have an honest reflection of where your time is going. And then could a system do this? So even looking, maybe you have a VA or a team member in your business that audit the entire business here and look at, could this be automated? Could it be completely automated or partially automated? Or does it always need a human interaction and is something that cannot be automated? You're going to write that down. And then for some quick wins, I want you to be able to take that list then and know that not every automation that you're going to build is going to require weeks of setup. Some of the highest impact workflows can be done in a matter of hours setting up. You can set up a funnel in a matter of hours using automation. So look at the time draining task and identify ones that are simple, repetitive, and clearly automatable. These are where you're going to get your quick wins. And because once you have these in place, these automations are going to deliver the fastest return on your time of investment. So asking yourself, is it a repetitive task? It happens the same way every single time. That's a very good indicator that could be automated. Does it have a clear trigger? Again, when we're talking about that trigger, what fires off that automation? Good automation starts with a specific event. For instance, in Signature System Blueprint, you landed on an opt-in page or a form if you came in through an ad and you've completed that opt-in, you completed the form that asked for your name and for your email address. And because that form was completed, that was the trigger that I set up in my automation that fired off the welcome sequence. So that's what we're looking for. If the outcome is predictable, you know exactly what should happen every single time, it can be automated. So your goal here is to target 1 to 3 quick win automations that you can have implemented in your business over the next 30 days. And then looking at big projects. So what would make the most sense long-term and have that long-term impact that can create that biggest transformation in your business? So beyond these quick wins, there are strategic automations that can fundamentally change how your business operates. They may take more time to build. For instance, if you're really starting all the way from a website on, but once they're done, and AI immediately reduces that time that it would take to be able to build it out yourself, because not only do we have AI as our secret weapon in Scale Logic HQ, but we also have a lot of pre-made templates for you that you would just need to change the branding and change the copy in the template and make it yours. And it's done. It's already pre-built for you. So we want to look at that complete nurture system. Again, having a fully automated, behavior-driven email system that converts leads into clients without having manual intervention. We want to have that end-to-end client journey from the first time they opt in with you all the way to the final milestone, having that seamless automated experience at every single touch point. And we want to have a revenue dashboard. So this live reporting system that gives you complete visibility into your business and performance real time, knowing exactly what every piece of content, every funnel, every course, everything is, how it's working and performing in your business. So some things I've given you here for decision filters as you're looking at your automation stack and deciding what software to go with. A couple of things that you want to be looking at is what creates the fastest return on investment. So which automation, when you're looking at that and looking at building that out, which automation is going to contribute the most leads, leading to more conversions and more revenue in the shortest amount of time. The second thing to look at is what saves the most time. So what task is consuming the most hours per week? How we talked about social media marketing, consuming the most hours of your week that can be fully removed from your plate and handled with automation. And number 3 is what should stay personal. So looking at that, what touch points must remain human? And really, that goes down to the tasks that you're doing in your business that require your face and voice. Those obviously, technically, they can be automated through cloning yourself with AI clone, but you want to know those things in advance. You want to know, no, like I wouldn't want AI handling that. That's something I really need to handle, as well as having that time to be the visionary CEO in your business to helping you map out strategy. Those are things that require you to be able to do that. So the recap here and what you have built today is taking a moment to acknowledge the work that you've done over the past 4 days together. You've gone from having an idea to having a fully architected, scalable business system. And everything that you're walking away here from day one, you built your signature system. That's a unique methodology that you extracted out of your brain, and you created a clearly defined offer that you can market and you can sell to be able to generate revenue on your business. You looked at the architecture, so you created that operating engine in your business, that system, the internal structure that runs your business. Then we dove into day 3, the messaging, the ideal client and the messaging. So creating your brand voice, your positioning, your story that attracts your ideal clients. And today on day 4, you've gone through the automation roadmap. So creating like what that stack is looking, what software you're going to go with, whether it's ScaleLogic HQ or another software that you need to have all of these pieces of software. If you're not going to an all-in platform, you would have to have multiple pieces of software, from your landing and sales page provider to having your email service provider to having Zapier or Make that would be the Zaps that integrate all of the tools and make them all talk to each other and so forth, like your course hosting platform where you're hosting your online courses and coaching programs. You would have to have all of those pieces of software. And I had them all. The software expense alone was no joke. It was costing me almost $1,000 a month with the multiple pieces of software that I had to run my business. And of course, Zoom and Stripe and all of those things to be able to collect payment too. And then your automation roadmap. So once you've identified where those gaps are in your business and identified what would be helpful in your business to have automation running that for you, then you have that plan mapped out of what you're going to implement over the next 30 days, 60 days, and 90 days to be able to build a scalable business that is all powered through AI automations and workflows. All right. So tomorrow we're going to be diving into how you're going to build this. So day 5 is going to cover 3 different paths available for you. So we're going to get really practical into the reality of implementation, because knowing what you need to build and actually building it are 2 different things. So day 5, we're going to walk you through all 3 pathways that I have available for you so you can help identify what is right for your unique situation and close up with your 90-day roadmap ready to go. So I'm going to offer you 3 different solutions, one being a DIY where you're using templates and tutorials and ScaleLogic HQ training to be able to implement and do all of this yourself. Or you can have it done with you. So done with you, we guide you through the Founders Lab, through my online course and coaching program, the Signature Course Launch System, where we take and accelerate all of this, and you have all over the shoulder tutorials that walks you through step by step what buttons to click, what to put where, as well as all the tools and templates and resources to go with you. It's a plug and play system. So you can just change out the text and make it specific to you and to your offer and plug it into the system, or a done for you. I have a unique opening right now for 10 spots only, where our team builds out your whole automation stack for you end to end, all the way from the lead magnet, all the way to the nurture sequence, like following up with your students. So we build it all the way to review, right? And of asking for the review. So we build it all for you. So you're going to know by the end of tomorrow which solution is the best for you, and be able to complete your 90-day roadmap of how you're going to implement everything that you've learned and getting your tech stack in place, whether you're or do it yourself, whether do with me and my team to help you do it, or done for you, where we just take it over and do it all for you. So your action step today is to post your number one automation priority in the Founders Lab community on GoCollab. So declaring this commitment publicly dramatically increases the likelihood that you're going to follow through. I would say put a date behind it. When we have a forcing function, aka a deadline, put into place to have something done, you're more likely to do it. More importantly, getting feedback, getting support and accountability from your peers and from myself, who are building all of this alongside of you. So don't just think it. I want you to share it publicly. And I've given you a little prompt here of how to even say this. So my number one automation priority task is, and put in the task because it will benefit. So we always want to know what the return on revenue is and why it is worth your time to be able to automate this. And I'm going to have it live by this particular date. So look at what you're automating first. If you don't have any way of automatically capturing leads in your business, that's where you need to start. You need to start by identifying what that cookie is that we're going to get the lead, which is a snippet of your signature system, where we built your signature system in day one. So what is that cookie that we're going to give to your leads? And then building the automation to be able to provide to the delivery of that cookie and the delivery of the nurture sequence that is going to continue to build trust and help nurture your lead all the way to the sale. So that's what I would recommend looking at if you haven't already gotten one of those in place for you. But you look at your business. If you have any questions at all, bring your questions to the Founders Lab and we will get you some support. So we will see you for day 5 training next. Automation creates freedom and system scale. You've done the hard thinking. I know this was a big one. You know what to automate. And go through the workbook, do your homework, do the audit yourself, identify what that automation is that you need to automate, and let's make a plan to get that in action, whether it's do it yourself, it's done with you, or it's done for you. Now is your time to execute. Every automation you build is a permanent investment. It is an asset. It's a permanent investment in your freedom, a system that works for you around the clock, 24/7, indefinitely. So we will see you all on day 5. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you in the next training.